Hello everybody, this is going to be the first video of this kind where I use my microphone, and it might be the last, so take it in, I guess. So I'm going to be going over some tips and tricks, I guess, to how you can improve your builds. First of all is curves, which is something that is pretty troublesome. So let's say this is a ground or like a curve that you're trying to do. So first let's get this looking nice, like let's say concrete. I'm going to ignore whoever just messaged me. So here's your road. Okay, God, I hate the I hate the punching. So you got this. So let's go ahead and make the curb here. That's a pretty good looking color. Okay. So you have this. You're going to want to, let's say, duplicate it. There we go. There we go. I'm not the best at explaining anything, so just bear with me here, okay? I'm total dog shit at this, but okay, there we go. That's the first tip I'm going to teach you. Okay, so you may notice that when you're copying builds of a different texture or same texture, the textures will clip if they are in the same level. How I fix this is I set my increment to zero, and I just select it and I move it like literally a teeny bit up or a teeny bit below the other object, so it looks like it blends in perfectly when really it's just slightly above it. It's a pretty fun little trick, but it's an easy thing to do to make your builds 10 times better than what they originally were, because materials glitching out can really affect the quality of your builds. So a next thing is how to make curves. This is an extremely, an extremely tedious task. I personally hate it. I hate it so much. So how I did this was I would just, that's the wrong direction. Rotate this just a little bit, okay? Find an increment and how much you want to rotate this, okay? I'm gonna do 5, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 3. Okay, let's get dead set on 3 here. Okay, 3 is a pretty good number. So, as I said, this is really tedious because the textures can clip. But if you're just doing plastic, it should be fine because that's relatively the same texture, no different change in it like concrete. And you just kind of work around it, which is exactly how I did the curves in Shibuya. See, as you can see, the curve is coming along pretty smooth. This is one of the reasons why I don't like doing tutorials, because whenever I'm building, it takes hours. It takes a great amount of time, and I feel like you guys would get insanely bored with something like that. So I try to keep it short. I try to keep it like time lapses. Why did I set the 0 there? Alright. So another thing you can do is, obviously this is extremely tedious, something that's honestly so boring. I admit I hate doing this so much, but it's worth it in the end. A thing that can help you is just copying it. Just copying it, just a little bit like that. Okay? Move this a little over here. Try to position that even, like that. And then just 1, 2, 3, because that's an increment that we set on. So these are just basic tricks here. Like that. Look at that. That's already looking so smooth. And obviously, yeah, this is a little off. So you can just kind of move that there. And actually, yeah, the curve is done. That's an astounding curve you have there. And with gaps like this, what you can do is you can just kind of select the curve and just fill it just a little bit. Just fill it, and boom, you have a you have a fantastic looking curve right there for your builds. Another thing that is pretty important when trying to build is finding the right increment. Now you can see 0.1. Okay, that is usually what I use, but it doesn't mean you just have to use 0.1. A lot of things that builders get wrong when building is they use the same increment over and over and over again, which isn't really... it can make your builds wrong. So what I've done here is, let's say this right here, I set this increment at 20.2, a random increment. But as you can see, it spaces it out, it makes your builds even, so it's more pleasing to the eye. So it's not sloppy, wonky looking, sloppy. It spaces it out so it doesn't look wonky or it doesn't look wrong, which can really affect your build in many ways. I don't know what to explain here. I just build. I don't know. Another thing builders might not like is the amount of time it takes to build a map. Now, as I said previously, it takes me hours. I've invested more than 160 hours into this project, and it's been grueling, it's been tedious, it's taken a toll on me. But that's the thing with building. It'll take a while, but it's always worth it in the end. You gotta realize that. Something that can take your mind off of the grueling hours that come with building is literally just trying to distract yourself from what you're doing, like Spotify, like listening to maybe a fucking podcast as you're building. That can take plenty of the stress that comes with building. You could be sitting here for hours and be like, oh man, it's just the same thing over and over and over again. This is so boring. I want to go do something else. But you put Spotify on, your mind goes blank. You pretty much go in autopilot mode. At least that's how it is for me. While I'm here, since you guys made it to the end of the video, hopefully you did. I'd be actually really, really sad if you didn't, since I don't like using my voice, okay? But let's go over here to Wedge. He is one of my builders, and he has been doing a great and fantastic job over here. Hey, look at these lines. Look at these lines. It's amazing. It's amazing. You see, he's actually a mobile player, and he's building this. That just goes to show, no matter what platform you're building on, you can always put out something great. You can always put out something that's magnificent like this. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. I don't know if I'm going to make more videos like this. I did not like every second of this, but if this gets a good response, maybe I'll make more. Who knows? If not, I'm going to stick with caption.